So I had this email thread going on with SilverStone, and they asked me if I would like to review another product. And usually when SilverStone, sends me an email or asks me to review something, it's usually like a budget case, maybe a CPU cooler, occasionally fans. But this time they asked me if I would like to review some PSU cable extensions. And so, well, obviously, I'm probably going to say yes, right? Well, obviously I said yes because probably if you're watching this video, you know that this is a review for PSU cable extensions. So naturally I said yes, and why not? SilverStone's one of those companies that I've come to just really appreciate. I feel like they've got a lot of quality and a lot of effort they put into their designs. And you guys know me. I mean, I'm like, hey, if it's something obscure and something maybe that's not mainstream, but it's coming from a good company, then I definitely want to look at it. But then you got to kind of ask yourself the question of, is this thing really worth looking at? I mean, how crazy exciting can PSU extensions can they really be? And there'll always be your little levels of marketing jargon and all that fun stuff. But when I saw them, I was like, well, hey, it's going to clean up my PSU a little bit, especially since, I've always got my test bench in the background and I'm always taking pictures and stuff. Having some sleeved cable extensions is a nice, easy way for me to make that look a little bit prettier without having to put a ton of effort into it. And, hey, it's SilverStone, so I want to help them out. But they have to have something that makes them interesting, because SilverStone's not usually one of those companies that's all like, hey, I'm going to throw this product out at you and it's just going to be a humdrum average product. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have some generic kind of simple products and simple designs, but usually when SilverStone has something that looks simple and generic, there's something that's just not obvious that makes it really cool. Like, for instance, even something like as simple as this fan. This is a 120 millimeter fan. It's nothing particularly special. It's no RGB colors, simple black fan. And yet, if you look at the back here, you've got this vortex thing going on. And what this curve does is this curve counters the curve of the fan blades, and it helps force the airflow straight through the fan, because typically as the air goes out of the fan, it just starts peeling off to the side and kind of dispersing, which makes the airflow not very focused. These fans keep it very focused. That's a SilverStone design there, and this is really cool. So I was wondering what they were going to do with these cable extensions, and I noticed instantly when I pulled them out of the bag that they felt extremely flexible, like super flexible. And I'm like, what on earth? I've never felt cables quite like this. And so I did an Instagram post. I mean, basically I might as well have just made that the review, but I wanted to talk a little more about it. You just can see me bending that cable almost in half, and I'm not even pushing it hard. Like, I'm just putting a little tiny bit of pressure on that cable, and it bends like that. That is the SilverStone difference right there. I mean, those guys are really good at doing something like that. I thought that was a really awesome and cool design because, man, you guys got to, especially like the CPU connector on the motherboard, if you've got to route that thing up through a little tiny channel and it's got to make that tight bend, you'll have no trouble with these PSU extensions that SilverStone just designed. And so, yeah, I would highly recommend picking them up. But then there was one more little tiny thing that just, it's minor. It probably shouldn't be a big deal, but I've dealt with these before, and the fact that I've seen them done wrong before really drives me nuts. The cable combs. The cable combs were super easy to just clip right in there. And I was like, thank you, SilverStone. You do not let me down, ever. Cable combs, really easy to just pop onto the cables. Very easy to bend and manipulate the cables where they need to be. And then, bam, I have what looks like a custom sleeved cable on my test bench there, and it looks great. So guys, I really like these things, and I didn't really know how to go much farther than I usually do. I just figured I would go full story mode on you and just tell you how these things worked out for me. But I do want to throw one bit of advice. So SilverStone did a great job with these cable extensions, a really great job. I don't want these as cable extensions. I want a power supply that has these braided cables as the full cable. Like, not just an extension, full cable in a power supply. Now I know it's gonna cost some money, but oh my gosh, could you guys imagine having a custom sleeved cables for your power supply like those, and then being able to not only bend them and route them right up to the connectors on your motherboard and your other, components with no trouble, but then if you have extra cable, they're gonna bend and manage super easily. Like if you have too much cable, no big deal, because you can just bend it and put it into slots and cable manage it and tie it together way easier than other PSU cables. I really would think that SilverStone could just blow the market away if they made full-on cables and put it with a power supply. It would cost some money, I'm sure, but I think it would be 120, 150, 200, whatever. It'd just be completely totally worth it. Would love to see that happen. But guys, let me know what you think on that. Would you love to see a power supply that has custom sleeved cables, but they were actually easy to manage? Would that make it worth it to you? Let me know in the comments, because that would not only help, me, because I'd just like to know, but definitely helps companies like SilverStone to get feedback from you guys, because then that can help them plan their future product designs. All right, guys. Hey, like and subscribe if you want to help me out. Biggest thing, obviously, share. If you can just share my videos out. If you think I'm got some good content and want to help me out, share me out to other people, share me out to your friends. It really helps rack up those views. Sometimes it's just hard to beat the algorithms, and I'm not saying the algorithms are picking on small creators. I think sometimes it's just, I don't always understand what the best approach is. So you do that, it helps me out, and I can keep learning and growing, and you guys can grow with me. So thank you for your support. I will catch you later.